Hi, this is Tamal Kumar Mazumdar again. Today we will discuss financial results of India's biggest bank, State Bank of India. As per the annual report, Reserve Bank of India increased gross NPA as well as net NPA by a whopping rupees 11,932 crores and 12,036 crores respectively for the year 20. And as a result of this increase in NPA, bank's profit of rupees 862 crores shown in its audited accounts of financial year 19 changed to a loss figure of 6,968 crores. Then the bank provided the said shortfall during financial year 20. This is not at all a good scenario for a bank like State Bank of India. It is also not clear to us that when divergent in asset classification and provisioning of NPS, Reserve Bank penalized every bank, then why they are so lenient towards State Bank of India in this regard? The management of the bank is also not assuring us that there is little possibility of divergence in NPS during financial year 20 after proposed Reserve Bank of India inspection in this regard. During the financial year 20, State Bank on standalone basis booked a net profit of 14,488 crores after considering rupees 6,216 crores as profit on sale of shares in SBI Life Insurance Company Limited and SBI Cards and Payment Services Limited and rupees 9,250 crores on account of recoveries made in write-off accounts, mainly relating to ESSER. These two items contributed 15,465 crores of net profit for financial year 20. And if we deduct these items from net profit, then we may notice that there was a loss of 877 crores from its mainline business during financial year 20. There also lies a negative balance of 10,498 crores in its profit and loss account at the end of financial year 20. It is also to be noted that the bank earned 1,430 crores as fees remuneration from two State Bank insurance subsidiaries, namely SBI Life Insurance Company Limited and SBI General Insurance Company Limited in respect of bank insurance business. The statutory auditors put the impact on COVID-19 pandemic under emphasis of matter. Due to its continuation, it is not known to us whether the bank's asset quality will deteriorate further or its management will be able to cope with it successfully. As per segment accounting, retail banking and treasury, with a beat held from small portion of disinvestment of two subsidiaries, declared spectacular results without considering unallocables. But corporate wholesale banking is still losing money. Like last year, SBI dependence on large borrowers is increasing during the current year also. The share of its 20 large borrowers to total advances was 12.82% during financial year 20 against 12.61% of total advances during previous year. In value terms, it increased from 2,89,222 crores to 3,10,708 crores during the financial year 20. Total exposure to 20 large borrowers also increased from rupees 4,47,140 crores to 5,25,714 crores during financial year 20. High dependence on large borrower is not at all a good sign. The bank is holding total provision of 5,761 crores, which comes to 93.53% of total outstanding as on 31st March 20 for accounts covered under provisions of Insolvency and Bankruptcy Code, that is IBC. It also provided rupees 2,999 crores during the year towards areas of wages due for revision with effect from 1st November 2017. It is also observed from note 20 and page 188 of unabridged annual report that the quantum of frauds is increasing by leaps and bounds during the last 2 years. Fraud figure of 2,532 crores was shown during financial year 18. It jumped 5 times to 12,387 crores during financial year 19. And this year, it crossed all barriers at a massive rupees 44,622 crores. Out of this, 44,419 crores relates to loans advances fraud. The abnormal increase shows failure of its internal control system. State Bank is investing hundreds of crores of rupees to upgrade its software and training of its manpower. But sorry to note that it failed to notice the menace of its at its initial stages. A part of bank's delinquent employees must be involved in this type of frauds. Without the help of insiders, this may not happen. I think that the Reserve Bank of India as well as the Government of India must take a note of this serious menace and send advisory to the State Bank management for control of the situation with an iron fist. During March 2020, the State Bank made an investment of rupees 6,050 crores in Yes Bank for a stake of 48.21% of enhanced equity in terms of RBI monitored rescue package and got 2 non-executive board positions along with the position of CEO of Yes Bank. Last week, State Bank announced that the executive committee of central board allowed them to invest up to a further amount of 1,780 crores in Yes Bank's recently concluded follow-on public offer. As both the banks are in the same type of business, so conflict of interest type situation arises several times. If we consider the Puri Temple fixed deposit episode, then we may have noticed that after its maturity, Yes Bank shifted rupees 545 crores to State Bank as per direction of Temple Committee during March 20. In addition to that, Yes Bank downsold its profitable loan facility in Safeway concessions to State Bank of India for 3,200 crores. And as per media reports, Yes Bank is looking to raise further 700 crores by downselling its exposure in Aurora Kurnool Transmission Limited to State Bank of India. This type of transfer raises conflict of interest issue, as if through its 48.21% holding in Yes Bank, State Bank is buying, shifting profitable loans, fixed deposits from Yes Bank to its portfolio in order to increase its profit at the cost of Yes Bank. The regulatory authorities must look into it. There are many other points we will discuss after publication of Q1 financial year 20 results. Please share your views, suggestions, comments in this respect in our YouTube channel Corpo Voice India or mail us at corpovoice@gmail.com. I am repeating corpovoice@gmail.com. Our endeavor will be to reply all mails. Thank you all.